Okay, let's get underway. I want to start getting some training videos up and related. I'm going to do a little primer intro video on what I'll be covering. I want to go through a wide range of ways that you can use the Algo IQ tools. In this case here, I have the AIQ super bands up and I do have the AIQ1 indicator. I'm going to show you the type and range of setups that I typically trade. I like levels. I like excursion moves outside of the main bands. Um, Settings are objective to a point. Some traders like to trade on really low time frames. I don't. I like to trade on time frames that are kind of right in the middle between somebody trying to do some quick scalping and somebody trying to do, bigger picture, just catch the bigger picture structural moves. So I'm going to start by showing you, and this is just the beginning, I'm going to evolve this primer video on this topic into an in-depth, multi-avenue directions, multiple directions of ways that you can set up your charts for intraday trading. Now, in this case, I'll primarily in the beginning be talking about manual discretionary trading and so on. So, uh, automated trading I'll handle in a fully separate set of videos. This is a 37 AIQ bars chart on NinjaTrader. For the most part, all the vertical bodies of the Renko candles are 37 ticks high. So, not something that's hard to duplicate from one platform to the next. Now, we're right in the midst of getting some finite final discussions completed with Quantower. My programmer's already passed on code to them to use that would basically mimic what we have here. So the AIQ bars, what fabricated, the code that fabricated these candlesticks, which is just a Renko candlestick with some offset and somewhat of elongated wicks on some of the pivot points, is what we said, can you please put that in the platform? They said, well, if you give this to us, we're going to put it in a platform for everybody to use. And we're like, that's fine. If you guys want to add adjustability on the offset, that's fine. The current candle is just at least an NT8, just a brick size. So it's almost, like playing with the Advanced Classic and Quantower and putting a little bit of offset in there. So nothing like super significant. The nice thing though, like here in NT8, if they'll move forward and add this to their platform, they'll actually have a candle that does a better job than the current Renkos of helping us talk out tick by tick price levels and where did this bar close and where does the next bar open, uh, you know, at the nanosecond or at the tick level when a candle closes. And that's very important for powering indicators that are then creating signals that would be used by an automated strategy. So their current Renko candle is not the best at that, which is a little odd. For Quantower, Tick Blaze is just fine. NinjaTrader 8, since this is a custom bar, is just fine. So what I've been doing a lot for manual discretionary trading is I definitely track levels from a 4-hour chart, and that's very big. A matter of fact, I'm going to take those level videos and put them into the Algo IQ room today. I'm way behind the power curve on stuff since I've had a girlfriend sick for 3 days and a pet that's been sick for 3 days. So finally she's getting better. So yeah, I've had my hands full last few days, but I want to hurry up and get these important videos out and get us rolling on getting everybody dialed in for settings and related. Now, This is a 37 AIQ Renko chart. I kind of like my bands to be set a little bit bigger picture. I'm on a 233 responsiveness rate or length with a 3 deviation. That's kind of wide, probably for this chart, but that works for me. I have my fast band set pretty darn fast, 12 and a width of 2.5. I am a little narrower than typical, just more so when I get big excursion moves, they're going to go outside of the band, so I'm not going to miss those. But I'm really liking having the band set up, especially the fast one, so I can see W patterns easier, you know, excursion outside of the bands, especially if that's in conjunction with any sort of levels test or level sweep in that area. That's an area I would want to be a buyer. And we even had a micro W pattern, but a more of a macro W pattern. Now this is pre-market session, but I'm just talking about patterns in general. I really like looking for, pattern-based setups, either price interacting with levels, price going outside of the main bands. Those are like my prime areas to work trade setups. Soon as price goes outside the bands, I'm watching, checking where any levels are. A lot of times it's very interesting when price is outside of the bands. It's typically in conjunction with a recent levels test or level sweep, and so on. The other thing I'm definitely looking for is a market that's giving me ascending pivots. So I get a W pattern, I get lift to the midband, I get a nice deep pullback and lift, but this pullback and lift is above recent built support. This is a market developing basically a pretty strong uptrend in here. So in other words, pullbacks where I'm getting sequential higher pivots and uptrends, trying to work in entries at the mid band or below for the long. That's the value area to be a buyer. In downtrends, here's a little M pattern and rollover. It happens to be above the mid band. So working shorts at the mid band area and above. So if I get an excursion outside the bands, especially if it's in conjunction with the recent levels test or sweep, that's absolutely an area I'm licking my chops to go in and target for trade setups. Not sure why it's not drawing a box. So that's like prime time. Any of these excursions outside the bands, I'm looking for what kind of momentum bursts are we getting out of that. And I'm always looking for price pattern or indicator pattern. So if I see the fast bands if the fast bands make an M pattern or a W pattern, here's a W pattern that happened the other day and lift. Set of higher pivot lows, a little bit of a pump. We pull back, we settle into that area of support. So support, lift, support, lift. That's a market stair stepping higher. And I get a W pattern and I get a mom signal while I'm still at the mid-band area or below. So that's a beautiful, just everything is looking good to me there. Market stair stepping higher. Then I get a W pattern, and then I get on the final leg of the W, I'm getting a mom signal and lift out of a market that's just showing me some higher pivot lows. So again, excursions outside the bands get my attention to start watching price, finding higher probability areas to be a buyer or seller, looking for sequential higher pivot lows, sequential lower pivot highs. That's a sign of a market eroding upside momentum and working to the downside. This sign of a market eroding downside momentum and building upside. These cyclical higher pivot lows are almost always institutional activity. Somebody's accumulating a bit before they let her rip. They get out of the way, they let it settle back, they get back in again, they let it settle back. And, these are all the patterns that you typically see. Another just, low pivot, some lift. The next deep pivot and lift is higher than the prior one. Nice move up. Pretty deep pullback, but all these pivots are sequentially higher. This is all accumulation pre-market and then through the open, and then off they go to the races. So I'm always looking for that. And just in general, looking for ways to get into trends when the main bands are obviously from any sideways or downward action to upward, and you can find ways to work into developing or accelerating trends in upside runs. That's always some fantastic, opportunity areas. See if we can even find an area. Some of these days, because we're in the middle of summer, just been junk. But anytime both bands are predominantly up or predominantly down, you need to be hunting for either longs or shorts. Let's pop this up a bit. So again, M pattern, rollover. I'm always looking. Is there anything special when we go outside the bands? Are we at key levels? Here was 2 levels, and then this one does a sweep of the prior levels. So we come in here, we have levels that developed, and then we sweep it, we get an excursion outside the bands and lift. Okay, if I get a mom signal out of that, that means something to me. That's more prominent than just trading, price action in the middle of the road, for that particular day. So I'm going to be going through a range of settings that I think are very optimal for working. I'll cover definitely the MNQs. You can use the same settings for the most part on the NQs. I'll do a video on gold, oil, and ES, and you can trade the micros on those. Here the market just peeked its head. It's been held up all night long. We're coming up on CPI news. So what I plan on doing is, since I've had a lot of distractions this week, and I've been getting ready, I move into a brand new, nice trade office that I'll be in tomorrow. I've been waiting and waiting. It's been working on this for 2 weeks. So from tomorrow morning, I'll be there at 5 a.m. Pacific time or 5:15. Going forward, I'm going to be in a whole new environment, and I have a box that I've already set up there that it's going to be pretty much just used to do web browsing, social media stuff, and my YouTube live stream action. So I won't do YouTube live stream tomorrow. I was supposed to move in the office Sunday and then, kind of set everything up and then be ready for Monday. But just too many distractions this week with everything going on with the pet and the girlfriend. So I'm going to move in now, and I'm going to wrap up setting it up later today. And then tomorrow's going to be like my first official day there, so I can get settled in. So I'll plan on either Thursday or Friday. I'll decide. I'll go look at what news is out, but we'll get a live stream session in this week and then at least one next week. But from here going forward, I have a whole new schedule where basically from 5 a.m. till 1 p.m. Central every day, I'm going to be in that office, no distractions, and really looking forward to it because I have some new fun stuff, FUND, fund trading stuff coming online. So I need to be all hands on deck for that. So anyhow, start watching the videos I'll be posting today. If you have any questions on anything, just let me know. And let's get the training rolling.